It was Christmas Eve, the kind of night people spend laughing, wrapping gifts, and believing that everything is going to be okay. The house smelled like pine and warm food. Lights blinked softly in the corners, and for a moment. Life felt gentle. That's when she smiled at us. Not a big smile, not a loud one. Just a quiet, tired smile that somehow stayed in my mind longer than any celebration ever has. If I had known that would be the last time we would ever see her smile, I would have stopped time right there. I would have asked her what she was really feeling. I would have listened more closely to the pauses between her words. But Christmas Eve has a way of distracting you, of convincing you that tomorrow will always come the way it's supposed to. This story isn't about miracles or happy endings wrapped in red paper and bows. It's about the moments we overlook because they seem ordinary. It's about a smile we didn't question, a silence we didn't break, and a night we thought would be remembered for joy but instead became the line between before and after. As I tell you this, I want you to imagine your own Christmas Eve, the warmth, the noise, the comfort of thinking everyone you love is safe just because they're nearby. That false sense of security is exactly what makes this story hurt so deeply. Because sometimes the saddest goodbyes don't come with warnings. They come disguised as normal nights, family dinners, and soft smiles across a room. Stay with me through this story. Because what happened after that Christmas Eve changed our family forever. Not all wounds bleed. Not all pain is visible, and not all smiles mean someone is okay. By the end of this, you may find yourself looking back at the people you love a little differently, listening a little harder, and holding onto moments you once thought were guaranteed. This is the story of the night we thought was full of light, and the truth we discovered when the lights went out. Christmas Eve always carried a soft magic in our house, the kind that settled into the corners of the rooms like warm candlelight. That night, she was still smiling. I remember how she stood by the window, watching snow fall in slow, lazy spirals, her breath fogging the glass as if she were a child again. Music played low, an old carol humming through the walls, and for a moment everything felt untouched by time or trouble. She laughed when the lights on the tree flickered, blaming a loose wire, and teased us for worrying too much, but beneath that laughter was something fragile, something stretched thin. I noticed it in the way her hands trembled when she lifted her cup, in how her eyes kept drifting toward the door as if expecting a knock that never came, when I asked if she was okay. She smiled wider, brighter, the kind of smile meant to end questions. We wrapped gifts, shared stories, pretended the world outside wasn't cold and dark. Yet as midnight crept closer, the air changed. Her smile lingered, but it felt borrowed, like a memory she was trying to hold onto. When she hugged us goodnight, she held on longer than usual, whispering Merry Christmas as if it were a promise. None of us knew it would be the last time we saw her smile, or that the night was already pulling her away from us. The morning after Christmas Eve arrived too quietly. The house, usually alive with footsteps and voices, felt hollow. Her room was empty, bed neatly made, the window slightly open to the cold. At first, we told ourselves she'd stepped out early, maybe to clear her head, maybe to surprise us later. Hours passed, then the day, and the unease grew heavier. Her phone went straight to voicemail, messages stayed unread. Each unanswered call felt like a door closing. We searched the familiar places first, retracing routines, clinging to logic because fear was too much to face. Neighbors shook their heads, offering sympathy without answers. By evening, hope had begun to thin, stretching like ice over deep water. The police asked questions in calm voices, writing notes that felt painfully small compared to our panic. I replayed the night before again and again, dissecting every word, every look, searching for a clue I might have missed. That smile haunted me now, no longer warm but sharp, like a warning I'd failed to hear. As night fell, Christmas lights blinked on across the street, cheerful and cruel. The world seemed determined to celebrate while ours quietly unraveled. Days turned into weeks, and the search became our life. Posters, phone calls, sleepless nights fueled by equal parts hope and dread. Every ring of the phone made my heart leap and sink at the same time. We learned how quickly. Rumors spread, how strangers could speculate without knowing her laugh, her kindness, her fears. Some said she'd left willingly, chasing a new life. Others hinted at darker possibilities, each theory cut in a different way. I held onto memories to keep her real, the way she hummed while cooking, how she smiled with her eyes first. Christmas decorations came down, but the ache remained. Raw and unseasoned by time, then, one afternoon, the call finally came. Not the miracle we'd prayed for, but an answer we couldn't avoid. The truth unfolded slowly, carefully, as if even words were afraid of it. What happened to her wasn't simple or gentle. It was layered with secrets, choices, and a pain she'd hidden behind that final smile. Grief shifted then, from desperate hope to a heavy, undeniable sorrow that settled deep in our bones. In the months that followed, we learned how to live with absence. Her room stayed untouched for a long time, as if preserving it might preserve her. Christmas came again, quieter. Stripped of its innocence, we gathered, not because it felt right, but because it felt necessary. That night, we spoke her name aloud, shared stories, allowed tears to fall without apology. Slowly, the truth became something we could carry, not because it hurt less, but because we understood it more. Her last smile no longer felt like a lie, it felt like love. A final gift meant to protect us from the storm she knew was coming. Now, when I think of Christmas Eve, I remember both the warmth and the loss. I remember her smile, not as an ending, but as a reminder to look closer, to listen harder, to never assume the people we love are as okay as they seem. And every year, when the lights go up again, I whisper her name into the quiet, promising never to forget. The house never felt the same after that night. Christmas lights still flickered in the windows, the tree still stood in the corner. But something essential was gone: her warmth, her laughter, the quiet way she made everything feel safe. We replay that last smile over and over, wondering if we missed a sign, a pause too long, a goodbye that wasn't meant to be final. Time moved forward because it had to. But our heart stayed there, frozen on Christmas Eve, holding onto a moment that now feels heavier than silence. If this story touched you, if it reminded you of someone you love or someone you've lost, please remember this check on the people who smile the brightest. Listen when someone goes quiet. And never assume you have one more Christmas to say what matters. Thank you for staying with this story until the end. If you believe stories like this need to be heard, please like, subscribe, and share so these voices don't fade into silence. And if you're carrying something heavy tonight, know that you're not alone. We're still here, and your story still matters.